Yes, I'm back again. Crazy month. Crazy month. We had going into Thanksgiving, and then we had our son's wedding. Congratulations to Ryan and Mary on your first Christmas together officially as husband and wife. Super cool event. And then after that, we got into immediately, let's start thinking about Christmas in December. We're a very family-oriented brokerage. So started down that path, and here we sit. This is the 16th. Christmas is right around the corner, right? Crazy times in real estate. A lot of people don't understand that. Let me fill you in. If you haven't watched my videos before, my name is Roy Caballo. I'm the broker owner of Caballo's Realty and Caballo's Realty Referrals. That's a mouthful. My channels are set up to basically educate people on real estate and how this works, different facets of real estate, things we can do, things we can't do, educating the consumer, educating other agents, educating brand new agents. I have a whole stream set up just for VA buyers because I'm a veteran and so is my wife, and 65% of our customers are veterans. So, I do have a special stream set up for them. But let me tell you what, the past month has been crazy. And for those of you that are my subscribers, you can tell because I haven't been on. Right, so let's talk about a few of the things that took place that are kind of important and a couple of things that sound important, but they're kind of really not per se. So big one that just happened not long ago, FHFA, not FHA, that's different. FHA is a program, Federal Housing Authority, right? It's where you get loans, probably number one most used product out there. If you're a lender, please feel free to correct me, but I think it's probably the number one used program as far as getting people money to purchase a home. FHFA, think of that as the parent of FHA. That's the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Again, if you're a lender, please feel free to correct me. They just raised the loan limits, which sounds cool. It really does. It's, we can buy more home. Really, and that's karma. Really what that amounts to is you can buy more home depending on what your lender says. And you guys know me, I'm all about using my local folks. Talk to your lender. Before you get started on any kind of home search, talk to your lender, right? Because they're the ones that are going to tell you what you need, what you don't need, what your critical points are, the things that you need to help you be successful. The more you put into your transaction in the beginning, I can almost guarantee you the smoother it will go. Talk to your lender, right? That's the first one. The Zillow lawsuits. Wow. Put a big old wow up here on the screen or something. The Zillow lawsuits. I believe in total there are 6 of them now. And at least 2 of them are critically important. If you're a Zillow agent, you better be paying attention to what's going on, because one of them involves RICO violations. That's pretty darn serious. The other one involves RESPA violations. That's pretty darn serious also. That's the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. Those are critically important. There's a magical word in real estate that's taboo that's called steering. That's been thrown around quite a bit. Folks, I'm telling you, if you're a Zillow agent, please be careful. If you're one of those folks that swears by the Nasty Z company, whatever, if you understood their business model, you would understand they could give a hoot if you find a home or don't find a home. Their whole business model is set up on selling leads to agents. That's what it's all about. That's the truth behind it. And if they send me a nasty gram, well, so be it. It's a nasty gram. But I'm all about telling folks the truth. So it is what it is. What's coming in the real estate world? You know what? December is a unique time. One of our agents had some communication with another agent that said nobody buys homes during Christmas. That's actually really not accurate. There will always be buyers. There will always be sellers. And it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, because life and the market are going to dictate what's happening, right? It's not necessarily nobody's buying. There's people that are going to fly down here on vacation. They're going to fall in love with the place. They're going to be like, oh, let me see if I can find an agent to show me a home. If you're not pre-approved, there's a lot of folks that aren't going to want to do that, especially during the holiday season. And there's a lot of folks that don't want their homes shown the closer you get to Christmas, because they've got presents, they got family coming in, or they're leaving town and they're not feeling real comfortable about people being in their home. So yeah, it can be kind of interesting around Christmas, New Year's. And remember, if you're an agent and you have a contract in the works, I hope you're communicating with not just the lender, but the title company and your inspectors and anybody else that may be in play in your particular transaction, because remember, transactions during Christmas and New Year's always slow down. They always do. So if you weren't thinking about that when you talk to your customer about your projected closing date, you need to be talking to your buyers and talking to your sellers about, hey, there may be a delay in here. Depends on the title company, depends on the lender, depends on what you have in negotiations. But that's something really, really to think about. What's coming up for 2026? A lot, right? A lot. Every projection that I've seen has to do with a market increase. The only part that market activity increase, let me straighten that out. The only part that I've seen, granted, when you hear about reports, what part of the country is that affecting? Because a report may come out and say, Mr. Young, Lawrence Young, he does most of the projections for the National Association of Realtors, said there's supposed to be a 14% uptick in real estate. That's a nationwide thing. So that may be great as a nationwide number, but that may not necessarily be true for here in Southwest Florida where I'm at, right? Our number is closer to 10%. If you look at some of the other metrics that are out there, yeah, we have some positive things going for us down here. We made the very bottom, the number 100 slot, the Fort Myers Cape Coral area did, of the National Association of Realtors statistics for what's happening within a market. And our prices here statistically went down about 9.2%. Whereas if you were looking in terms of New York or New Jersey, your numbers went up almost 10%. And I'm not talking about sales, I'm talking about price. Right? So something that the numbers don't lie, folks. You just have to know how to interpret them. Right? You have to know, you have to be able to read those numbers and really get what you need out of those numbers. I'm going to go back to publishing numbers again so that people can kind of get a better understanding, because if you look at the number of homes that were listed and you look at the number of homes that had price reductions, that goes to show you there's a lot of people that are still doing this. They're fishing, right? Do you want to list your home or do you want to sell your home? Which one do you want to do, right? Because if you're just playing around, you're wasting a lot of people's times, right? So don't do that. Let's be honest and sincere in business, because that's the best way to be, honest and sincere. What's up for our brokerage? I don't know, a lot, right? I see positive things in our future. We're a small brokerage, cool with that. I love that. I love the fact that we're mom and pop. If you're an agent, and this is December, you got about 2 weeks left to pay your fees to the Board of Realtors. Remember, that's not a requirement anymore. You can be a Thompson broker. But remember, if you're not going to be a realtor and you're not going to be those fees, you can think about coming over to Caballo's Realty Referrals, right? That's a whole different genre. That's, you have an active license, you're not paying any board fees, and we're going to work out a referral fee. And you're going to give us your business, and we're going to give you back, whatever we make at closing, a portion of that. And you basically did nothing. That's not a bad gig, right? Kind of beats paying $1,000 to the Board of Realtors. And in some cases, the Board of Realtors charges even more than that. For those of you that didn't know, there are fees that go with real estate, and it can be kind of pricey, especially if you're like me and you're a broker, right? So something to keep in mind for those of you agents that are thinking, man, I got to come up with this money and it's Christmas time, worst possible time to have to pay a huge bill. Man, for those of you that have asked about the accident and don't know yet, I was run off the road by a dump truck approximately a week ago. As you can see, I'm fine, not hurt. Lisa's Explorer, we're going to say that we're going to round out the bill, was $4,200 worth of damage to the dump truck driver that ran me off the road. I hope you see this video, because God has a special place for you. Mailboxes are supposed to be breakaway. He was 2 to 3 feet in my lane. I had a choice: get hit by a dump truck or go in somebody's front yard and hit their mailbox. I opted to hit the mailbox, which is why I'm still able to be here making this video. But nonetheless, it is a problem. It is a problem here in Southwest Florida. I know many of you can comment as far as the problems with some of our roads. It is what it is, and we got to talk to our county officials to see what we can do about maybe improving that, maybe talking to Department of Transportation to see if they can stop some of these dump trucks and say, hey, what are you doing? Right? Check driver's licenses, see who's, and this has been in the national news as well, where we have these big truck drivers that, right, they're not licensed, and that's dangerous to everybody. So something to keep in mind. If you got real estate questions, if you're not sure about what's going on in the future, if you just want to talk about a few things, if you want to have a coffee, let's do it. Roy Caballo, broker owner, Caballo's Realty. I'm getting back on my videos. I'm probably going to do one right before Christmas because I need to get back at this. I need to tell you guys what's going on in the real estate community, because a lot of you folks, you're listening to what's in social media, you're listening to what's on the TV, for those of you that still watch TV, and it's either not accurate or you just kind of need somebody to break it down for you. And that's me. I'm going to do it for you. If you're an agent and you need help, your first place to go is not me. Your first place to go is supposed to be your broker. Your broker. And if you can't get a hold of your broker, or your broker's not answering the questions, well, maybe you're with the wrong brokerage. But I'm always taking new agents. So, new agents, experienced agents, give me a call. 863-441-3295. Roy Caballo, broker owner, Caballo's Realty. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And stay tuned. More videos coming. Out for now. Bye.